Hey guys, what's going on? So welcome to part one of my stealth car micro camper conversion based on this 2011 Mecedes E Class Coupe. I believe it's one of very few, if any, two-door coupe camper conversions of any kind that I've seen on YouTube. So let's get to what I've managed to get done on the first part of this build. Right guys, so this was my first idea of having like these two battens here on the main kind of chassis rail. There was a nice support, and then having a sheet of plywood, that's just a test piece obviously, just to check out the level. And then I cut this little sliver here to give myself a flat edge on this next chassis rail. However, after testing this out, there's just not enough room between this bit of plywood and the top of that parcel shelf. Even cutting some of this material away here, went back to the drawing board. I need to somehow get this a little bit lower. I mean, I can sleep in there, but just laying on your back and lifting your knees up and trying to turn around in here is just next to impossible. You can shimmy up this way a bit, so your head will eventually be this end, and you can clear your knees of that parcel shelf. But I just want to get it a little bit lower down, so I've been messing with some ideas. One of them being is I remove one of these two bits of timber and get rid of this little shimmy that I made, and then just have decking planks or like bed planks running all the way down. So it's just basically this is the narrowest section between this bolt and that bolt that side, and it's 90 centimeters. So I'm thinking for ease of use that I just get a single mattress, which are 90 centimeters in the UK. Maybe get like a memory foam mattress and then just do some kind of wooden bed frame. I was going to go with this idea of having slats, but then I thought, well, I've got a sheet of 8x4 which I've bought now, and I don't want it to go to waste. I can't be able to bring it back because it was a mission getting it on my car. So I'm probably going to run with this idea of having one single piece of wood on this front edge of the floor pan, and I'm going to try, I think my idea was to have it sitting within this area, so I want to do it out of sections. So I'm going to have one piece running to this side of this chassis rail. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but whatever. And then I'm probably going to have a section about as big as my hand, or from about here to this ledge, and then I'm going to have a piece from here to the rest of the boot that hinges up, so I can get to the spare wheel and that little compartment to the side of it there to the left. That can be like a storage compartment, so I want to be able to access this still when it's done. So that's where I'm at the moment. Yeah, so at the moment I'm working on the back section. I've taken the boot carpet out. I'll show you now. So this is my big bit of 8x4 plywood that I've bought, and I managed to get it on the roof of the car, which is amazing. 3/4 inch plywood, which I wasn't going to use and now I am. This is a boot carpet which has always been absolutely shit. It always collapses, it's got no strength. But I'm cutting around the shape of that chassis rail. I've marked it with a pen. I don't know if it'll come out on camera. I'm just currently cutting this carpet, using it as a template, but I'm cutting it into maybe 2 or 3 sections, I think 3 sections, which I would then use to mark this plywood and try and get a rough shape to how I've got this in my head. Right, so I've done my first cut, this section here. So now I'm just going to try and put this section back in the car and see if it fits where I want it to fit. Right, I'm actually really happy with how this has come out. It follows the line of that floor pan, whatever you call it, nicely. It used to come out to about here before. It used to come over this piece of metal, but I want it to sit just inside. Like I said, I want this in sections, and I want this to be part of the floor. I want the wood to almost sort of sit flush to it. By the time you've got a memory foam mattress over it, I don't think you will notice like any slight, if this bit's slightly raised, because it's a bit of an awkward shape as well. It raises up towards the edges, so I'm going to have to cut round it, and I'm going to just leave this bit sticking up a bit, otherwise it just ruins the whole floor plan. I don't think it's going to matter because you're not going to sleep literally that close to the edge of the car. I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah, and then I can get a single bed frame in here, so that I'm really happy with. I'll show you what other cuts I plan to do. Right, I don't know if you can see this, but this lip kind of sits on the edge of the boot and it's loose and it overlaps. I don't really want it to do that because I want it to sit a bit lower. I want it to sit a bit lower than this edge trim. Right, I got this out. It was too dark to film inside the boot, so what I was saying is this little bit of trim here on the edge just overlaps and sits on top of the trim, and I'm not going to want it to do that with a 3/4 inch plywood, so I'm probably going to trim all of this bit off around here, possibly to there, or maybe to here. I'll have to figure it out. So I've marked where it looks like, I don't know if you can see it, it picks up on camera, but where I can see there's a mark where it's rested on top of the trim and worn away over the years. I've used that to mark with this purple highlight pen. I've used that to mark. I don't know if you can see that line coming around there. Basically, I'm doing a big cut all the way around across here up to there. I'm going to cut that next with the scissors. So basically I've been using the carpet to try and make a template I can use to cut out the plywood, and so far I've discovered that cutting it with scissors is a massive no-go because it's like hardboard or thin wood and carpet. The scissors aren't going through it, so I'm going to bust the jigsaw out and just trim up the carpet. Right, so this was the boot carpet. I've trimmed off the pieces that I don't think I'll need, which is that bit. All of this, rubbish. All of that. Don't need any of that. So then I'm just left with this middle piece, which I've divided into two sections, here and here. The reason I've done that is this section is going to be the very back of the boot area, and I still want to access the spare wheel. So I figured if I separate these two bits on one to them that fit either side of a metal beam through the middle, then I can put a hinge on here and lift this piece up to get to the spare wheel. Just kind of making it up and figuring it out as I go, to be honest. Right, so after all that fettling around, I've actually got a little bit of an outline. Doesn't actually look too bad. Time to cut it out with a jigsaw. Alright guys, so this is where I got up to on part 1. So I've got this 2-lay half width roof box, which allows me to still have enough space for a full mountain bike rack to go on the other side. That way I can take my electric bike with me and still have all this space for all this stuff that I've got in the roof box. So in this 2-lay roof box I've got full-size toilet there in that black case. I don't know if you can see it at the top. I've got a pop-up shower tent, like a pop-up privacy tent to use for the toilet and the shower. I've got a full-size paddle board in the grey bag, and my paddle, electric pump. Yeah, it's a toilet, shower and paddle board in the roof box. Probably still a little bit more space for a few little bits. Probably put a camping stove in there. So yeah, pretty happy with how the back's turned out so far. Let me put this boot down so you can see the whole way around. So as you can see, I've got the 2-lay half width glossy black roof box to match the stealth black car. I've got a 2-lay, I think that's a Pro Ride 598, I think it is, which is the all black version, just to fit in with the aesthetics of the car. Now I'll show you inside where we got up to. Right, so far I've just managed to cut out a template of the 3 bits of wood. So the first bit, I've done it so it can lift out and you can still get to the spare wheel and bits underneath. It's not secured in place yet properly. Then you've got this little sliver that's going to be fastened down semi-permanently. So this is going to be the base of the bed. Also, whilst I'm here, actually, just want to show you guys this. I've got this Power Oak, I think it's AC50. You can see the screen on that, it's quite sunny. Let me bring it out so you can see it. So you can see it fits nicely in this little side compartment in the boot. I didn't want nothing any bigger than that. Right, so I've got this, I hope that's coming out on camera, Power Oak AC50 little portable power supply that you charge up, and I've calculated should last the weekend for most uses of charging cameras, laptops, phones. You've got all your standard USB ports here, USB-C, USB, is that A or B? I can't remember what it's called. You've got inputs as well somewhere here. This is DC out. I think there's an input. I'm pretty sure you can get a solar panel, which I might do at a later date to go on the roof, so I can actually charge this thing, so I could potentially go away for a whole week at a time. Got a couple of handles on the top. I think I paid about £400 for this. I got it quite cheap. They're normally, I think it was about £400. I think they're normally somewhere up to about 500. Did have a problem when this turned up, actually, that it arrived with European 2-prong outlets, but that was quite easily resolved by buying some black UK adapters. It's got a standard cigarette lighter there, so that's pretty sick. It's got a few other little features. So on the back, this is an actual kind of LED light. I think it flashes and does various modes, stays on permanently, so that's pretty sick. Helpful little thing, but I should have my own lights. This is really handy. It's got an input here, so I think that's what you'll connect your solar panel up to. Which you don't have to do, you can just charge this at home before you go away, and I'm pretty certain this thing will last most people over probably a whole weekend if you're not running anything too high powered off of it, but it'll charge all your basic stuff up. Right, so as we come round to the side of the car, you'll start to get an idea. Obviously this is the door where I'll get in here to sleep. So the front seats will go completely forwards. This is as far as I've got, so I've got a beam of wood here, and I've just got myself a splinter, nice one. So I didn't actually video this bit. I actually got some brown paper, made a template, marked it on some plywood and just cut it out of a jigsaw. So that covers the back seat area. That's not quite long enough for a bed. So what's going to happen is, I've seen it on many other things, even Transit Connects, they do it. I'm going to have a little section of wood here, which is going to hinge over into this area, So when the chairs are forwards, it's probably going to come to about here. What that's going to allow me to do is to have a full size single mattress, 190 centimetre. So I've already got the mattress. I've got memory foam. I think it's about 8 inches. 8-inch memory foam single mattress, and that's what I plan to have once this wood's secured in place. The other reason that I went with memory foam is because, I don't know if you can see this centre console here, protrudes out into the area where the mattress is. I'm guessing it probably comes to about here, the mattress. And what I'm thinking with memory foam is I can just squish it to the shape of it. If it's a bit longer, it will just mould itself into the, into the correct shape. And I'm hoping when it's not in use, and obviously when I'm driving it and the front chairs are forwards, I'm hoping I can pull the mattress and fold it slightly in the boot enough to push the chairs back and use this as a normal two-seater car. So yeah, just kind of figuring it out as I go, really. I don't think there's not many two-door coupe stealth car campers on the internet that I can see. Most things are hatchbacks, estate cars. For me, it's just figuring it out as I go, to be honest. Turning something which you would not think would be an all-purpose utility vehicle, like a two-door coupe, into a car that can kind of do everything, I can go away for the whole weekend. I'll take my electric mountain bike with me. I can take a paddle board. I can have one, possibly two. We've yet to see. I'll wait till I've got the mattress in before we try it out, whether you can get 2 people in here, but guarantee for myself it'll be a really useful thing just to jump in the car and disappear spontaneously for a night or two. Hi guys, so that's it for part 1 of this Stealth Micro car camp conversion. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe and hit the notification bell to get updates on part 2 of this conversion if you like what you see, and I'll just see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.